Welcome to the Spa Girls podcast, the self-publishing podcast for authors. You're in the right place for the best writing, marketing, and publishing advice, plus interviews with industry experts and best-selling authors. I'm Cheryl Phipps.
I'm Shah Barrett.
I'm Wendy Vella.
And I'm Trudy J. Welcome to everyone.
Welcome.
Guess what?
Welcome.
Guess what? If you are not looking,
Get the
you can't
theme.
see us. There is a
You can't
theme.
see us. We're
You
all
better
wearing
go to YouTube right now.
Yeah, go to
horns.
YouTube. It's Christmas.
or antlers.
It's Christmas in the spa.
Hey,
I
Merry
like
Christmas.
Cheryl, your one's wiggle, and I'm
Mine's
very
wiggling,
jealous.
yeah.
I want to shake my head and wiggle. Anyway, I might have to go and buy exactly those trees. Anywho,
Yeah.
we're Christmas, and we thought we'd do 12 wishes of Christmas for our readers. So all
For
the
our
things-
Listeners, yeah.
Oh, readers, your listeners, sorry.
Listeners, watchers,
Watchers, creepy old watchers. All of
No.
you creepy old watchers out there.
fans.
Fans, yes. Be our fan.
Our fans. We want to go through the 12 wishes that we have for you in 2024. So
Awesome.
yeah, what more do I need to say? Nothing. So
Nothing.
Wendy, you have to start.
Why do I have to
I know that
start?
you can't read your list and you're like,
No,
oh my gosh,
I
don't know
wrote
what
it
my
and
first
it looks
wish
like
is.
a cat scrawled across it. Actually. Actually, before we start, I just want to ask, which is your favorite Christmas song? And the reason I'm asking is because I was
She wants to
asked-
sing. She wants to sing it.
No, I was asked this yesterday, and I said Michael Bublé's White Christmas, and they just looked at me like, "Are you
No, it's
serious?"
Rudolph. It's
There we
Rudolph
go.
the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, there you
clearly.
go. All right. Share Bear,
it
what are
in-
you?
No, I can't. I mean, I always get a bit of a when I hear Snoopy's Christmas.
Yeah. Oh,
I just can't help
absolutely.
myself.
That's an old one though, right? From our childhood.
But I do like Michael Bublé,
Mm.
mainly at Christmas.
Yeah. I know. There's all those memes with him coming out of hibernation. What about you, Shah?
I'm just sitting here trying to think. I'm not a massive fan of the originals, like the traditional ones. I've got a Kelly Clarkson Christmas album, and she's got some sort
nice.
of newer ones there, and I really love her for a
She's got a
start,
great
and I love
voice,
those.
yeah.
So I can't think of titles off the top of my head.
It's all good. No pressure. I was just curious.
It was a bit
okay.
of pressure, to be fair.
Yeah, it was. I like to throw you guys under the bus occasionally and not have writing involved. Okay, so 12 wishes of Christmas, and my first one. I wish that writing blurbs was as easy and wonderful as eating chocolate for you, because
Nice.
it's doesn't go down smoothly at all, right?
No.
It gets stuck halfway, and then you feel like you've got indigestion. It's like a nightmare. So I hope that writing blurbs for you next year is as smooth as eating chocolate. That's my first one. How's that? Did we like that?
Nice.
Shall I go?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Yes,
go.
share.
I wish you find at least one person you can talk all things writing with, like a spa girl of your own, and preferably a little group.
Oh, that's
Lovely. I
lovely.
like that. That's cool.
Because that is
We-
a big deal, right? Like
We all need a
finding-
person, at least one
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
And I mean, we've talked about this before in the spa, but sometimes you talk to someone who's not a writer,
Mm.
and they just, there's the
No.
blank face, there's
Mm.
the what do you want about crazy
Mm.
person,
Mm.
like all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Another
There's no
writer-
one gets it quite like a writer.
No,
Mm,
that's
Right.
true. A fellow writer, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah.
They might act like they get it. Like when I
They might
corner my
wish
husband
they
in the
could get
spa
it.
pool and I start talking
Ooh.
plots, and he's
I
like,
do that too.
X-rated already.
he's like
Corner
blank,
him.
and he's like, do we have to do this? And I'm like, yes, you know,
Yes.
no.
How about
I
we,
tell
how about we
people-
have a drink, Wendy?
I know,
How about we
right?
relax and don't
Yeah.
talk about work, Wendy.
Yeah. Okay, Shah, what do you got?
Oh, okay. So I wish kindness to yourself in 2024, and that you wrap yourself in a gentle marshmallow cloud of understanding and kindness
Mm.
to yourself.
Marshmallow cloud sounds sticky, is all I got to say
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. Like, yeah,
Puffy
No,
though.
It's fluffy and
lots of-
gentle, just to
put-
sort of
put lots of
protect you
icing sugar
against
on
the
it.
slings and arrows of other people's sometimes barbs or unattended non-helpful comments
I
and
even think it's other
Slights.
people. I
Things
think
it's
it's your own.
Yeah.
self. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
a
think you're-
gentle
It's like kind
kindness.
to yourself is actually ignoring your
But
own
that
barbs.
can be your one, Trudy. That can be
So
your
you're worrying
wish.
about other people.
I'm
But
just
being kind
wanting
to
a
yourself
nice little
is-
protective cloud around
Yeah,
yourself
fair enough.
that wraps you in kindness. How's that?
Yeah, because there is a lot of negativity and unkindness out there, right?
And it doesn't even have to be negativity. It can just be sometimes the overwhelm of expectations of, you know, sometimes other people, but also just the overwhelm of learning things and of different platform updates and technology and changes and market changes and summer slumps and winter blues, you know, all of that stuff. So I'm visualizing a nice white fluffy marshmallow cloud around you.
Lovely. Shut out the noise and just be kind to yourself. No. I think it's
Now
you,
to the
Trudy.
good stuff. I am not going to say be kind to yourself from your own barbs, although that is a good one, because we are our own harshest critics.
We'll put that in as a like a halfway, shall we?
Supplementary, yeah,
Extra.
supplementary
12 and a half wishes.
Bonus.
Yeah.
Bonus wish.
When can we ever stick to?
I
I
don't know.
Right.
Gosh.
My first one is let it be easy.
Ooh.
And I think we sometimes make things, and I mean, I speak for myself, you know, but we make things too complicated. We think that it has to be complicated to be good, that we have to work really, really hard, that we, you know, there's, you know, if it was easy, it'd be somehow wrong. Like, and that's what I've been trying to lean into is just, what if it was easy? What if editing was enjoyable and I loved it and it was easy? You know, what if everything, and it doesn't mean that you're not doing the stuff. It's just, what if it wasn't this big dreary sludge? What if it was amazingness and lightness and easiness?
Nice.
Dreary sludge, man. Newbies,
Welcome to Trudy's world.
Out there talking about itself, all right?
I like it.
So that's my wish. Let it be easy. Don't you think?
Yeah, because sometimes it is hard, right? Really hard.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes these things, you know, like painfully getting stuff sorted with Amazon and getting into accounts, but sometimes we're just talking ourselves into it being hard, so we can just as easily talk ourselves into it being easy and going with the flow and making it a gentle, easy process. So that's me.
Because it is a mental state sometimes, right? You know, and we just spiral. You know, and it gains momentum like a snowball. Okay, my next one is, I wish for you guys to understand something, and that this is the long game. I think in the society we live in and the world we made ourselves be part of, success is in a hurry, and it's not. You know, I think especially in this game, it takes time. It's about putting the foundations in place. It's about writing the books. It's about getting all the I's dotted and T's crossed. It's a real long game. And I need you guys, I really want you to understand that. It's a great game, but it's a long game. And success might not come from the first book, second book, fifth book, but you know, give yourself a shot at it. Take the time to get everything right, and eventually it'll come. That's
a good one.
Yeah,
there's that myth about the overnight success, right? Like everyone wants it to be an overnight success, and sometimes even someone who has an amazing first book that does really well, the second book doesn't. Like it's never one
the
book
graph is never straight.
Superstardom thing. It's the journey. It's a career. It's a long thing. I like that one, Wendy. That's awesome.
Thank you. Go share.
Well, mine kind of follows on from that a little bit. It's, I wish your book does better than you imagined. We're all scared of not doing it well, but if you did the very best you can, then that has to be good enough for now. It is good enough for now, and you will get better. And there's nothing surer, because it's, you know, if you think of each book as a little stepping stone and on the path of your training, you can only get better. It's like any job that you ever do. You start at the bottom and you work your way up step by step.
Yeah.
And that's just life. So that's the way a book works. That's the way a career as an author works.
Yeah. No, that's a good one too.
Nice.
Profound. Excellent. Go sharp.
We're freaking geniuses. I have to
Well,
say
I mean,
this.
and we've
I
known
mean,
it
it's
though, right? All
gold.
the way through. Just I'm not sure anyone else knows it, but
Yeah.
Okay, so
we'll make them see how real we are.
my second wish is that I wish for you to have the confidence to listen to your own intuition as a writer and as a self-publisher. And I'm not saying disregard advice, particularly there's this amazing podcast called the Spy Girls podcast with over 420 incredible episodes, but just the intuition to know what works for you. And I think checking in with your gut, you don't have to know all the things, but I firmly believe that if something feels off and you can really feel it inside, then that you should listen to that voice. And by all means try different things, but really tune into how things feel in your gut and listen to your intuition.
Yeah.
That's
Because
an
we can
important
be
one.
very swayed, easily swayed.
Really
Yeah.
easily swayed. And
Yeah.
I think we're almost, particularly as women, taught not to listen to that, but I think that's our superpower, honestly, is gut instinct.
And quite often the gut instinct is what you come back to, but in between you've gone from A to Z to not, like all over the place,
Yeah.
because you've listened and all of this sort of advice. But ultimately you have to work with what works for you, what's best for
It's
you.
actually quite hard though. That's something that I had to kind of almost relearn. Like I'd kind of how to use my intuition, because I was like, I've got this idea and I've got that idea and this thing that I could be doing and that thing. Which one's my intuition? Which one should I do? I don't know. And it was almost kind of like having to settle back and kind of go, what do I want to do? Not what I should or what everyone's telling, like there's that real, that's a bit of a practice, but it
is a practice, and it is very much a practice. And I mean, depending on how into the woo-woo you are, a lot of it is actually grounding yourself, literally often getting outside and just sitting in nature and just just listening to that inner voice. And we're all so busy, and we're so, we've got Facebook and X and TikTok all twittering, shouting at us basically all day long, or the computer or this. And I think actually shutting yourself off from that for a small moment, and it only has to be 5 minutes a day, but it is so important. It's like a balm, a little break, a little mini holiday, and just getting outside. And I mean, there's different things. I like oracle cards or tarot cards or anything, but you don't have to get down that track. Often it's just a matter of sitting outside with a cup of tea and just in the quiet,
Centering yourself.
And do you know what, because you talk about just being quiet and taking peace, it's almost like when you're wound up and you're overwhelmed and you've got all the things you've got to do, you almost say to yourself, well, I don't have time, I can't stop, I don't have it. And actually that's when you have to. That's the moment when you kind of go, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm not achieving anything, this is not getting me anywhere. And that's when you stop and do everything that Shah just said, because otherwise
it's a really hard place when you get into that kind of spiral. I liken it to like a dog with the zoomies running around barking at different sort of imaginary things. It's when you're in that state of running around in the zoomies barking at things, it's really hard to pull yourself out of that. So maybe
you've got to lay on your back all exhausted then for quite some time, haven't you? Panting.
I mean, we could go down all kinds of tracks about rubbing bellies and things, but let's not do that.
But there's a really good thing that dogs do. It's the reset. Have you ever seen
shake.
the reset? The shake.
The shake.
Like, right, I've done the barking. Now what?
And the other crucial thing that dogs do is they let out a really big sigh, which is expelling all that breath. And that's another thing that you can do is for going with the intuition, going with the gut is very much about breathing as well. So just
don't forget to breathe.
Focus on the breathing outwards. It's not the sucking in the air, it's getting it out. And that's be like a dog. Expel that big air.
Just don't bite people. That'd be good.
No biting.
No barking.
Oh my God, the barking.
Mhm.
Yes, let's not go there. Okay, so my next wish, are we moving on?
Mhm.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep, yep.
My next wish for all of you out there in listener land in 2024 is that you believe in yourself.
Mm.
Nice.
Mm.
And I just think that we could do more of that. Like it's so hard. It's like we have so many ideas and thoughts and things running around in our head, and so many people telling us what to do, and so many, I don't know, childhood beliefs that you've got to break through, whatever. I just want you to believe in yourself, believe in your ability to write, believe in your ability to get it out there and be exactly what someone wants out there in the world. You're writing.
I
Yeah.
think that's the most important person to believe in you is you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you, it's like that. What is it? Henry Ford quote. It's like whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Mm.
It's like if you don't think you can do
Yeah.
it, if you don't believe in yourself, then
Exactly.
you know,
How's anyone
where you
else
can-
going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's 100%.
Very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Mm.
Okay, my last one is not
Mhm.
as profound or deep. Might surprise you to know. It's about reading. So I just want to say, I don't think as writers we spend enough time reading, and I really find when I read and really sit down and consciously make myself read, it's like refilling the well. It's not that I'm trying to find ideas. It's not that. It's just that you get your brain moving again, and you're like moments and stuff like that. I just feel like we don't read enough as writers, and I think how we got into this business was that we loved the books and we loved writing and we loved reading. We were readers before we were writers, and I think going back to that and understanding that's really important. So my wish for you is that you get to spend a lot of time reading what you love in 2024.
I think reading also calms you, don't you? And it's good to take time out from the writing when you don't have to think about what comes next, because you're waiting to find out when you're reading, and that's all
right.
you have to do. You just have to just wait.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's brilliant. Go and share.
Okay. So I wish you enjoy this career every step of the way, even editing.
Even editing?
I know some people love editing. Some people
Who is that?
But,
who are they? Who are they? Who are those people?
Trudy, I think.
Well, no, to be fair, I have loved this latest book that I've been editing because I've given myself permission to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of truth in that, Trudy, because if you keep telling yourself that something is awful to do, in my case, ads, then it always will be. You can't ever find a way through it. But I think you can find maybe another way to do it, or another way to look at it. You know, maybe you're never going to love it.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you love your career, that's okay. You don't have to be passionate about every single thing that you do in it, as long as you're passionate about getting the end result.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
No, that makes sense.
I like that. Look at us
very
being all
cool.
profound on a Christmas special. Hey?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
too serious.
Yeah.
Who knew we had this much wisdom? My goodness.
No one.
Nobody did.
Especially not us.
Oh dear. Is it me?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is you.
Oh,
Yeah.
They say,
Great.
looking at her expectantly.
So this is going to have Wendy rolling her eyes in a massive way on this one,
my
but
Lord, I know where she's going.
yeah. So I'm still on that. I'm still on the woo-woo train here. Sort of. Well, so my wish is that your writing journey and your self-publishing kind of career and author journey is a tool that you will use then that also flows over into the rest of your life as a kind of a self-knowledge journey as well. And it doesn't have to be woo-woo. It can be things like figuring out, like, if you're learning something, what your preferred learning style is. If you like maybe watching a online course or versus attending workshops in person, you'll have often a preference, and so that will then you learn a lot about yourself in this whole business, because you're balancing the creative with the other side with the business side, and that can be a really difficult juggle. And there's how you negotiate that juggle is often skills, and is often insight. You get a lot of insight into your own preferences and your own self and what's driving you and all of that stuff. So it can go on a deeper level, but it also can be more of a different ways you work. Like before the podcast, Wendy was showing us a tool that she's using on her desktop, and what I prefer is pen and paper. I love my technology, but I have a paper planner, and I know that works for me, and that's really helped me cut the noise out so I don't get distracted by the desktop planners, because I know that this works. So it can work on that level, but it also can work on other levels. Like you learn what it is you need to support you in that journey. You know, do you need people, do you need words of affirmation, all of that kind of stuff. Obviously Clifton Strengths is part of that, and certainly Trudy and I are big proponents of that, as I would say probably 80% of people, but for 20% of people, they don't jibe with it, you know, and that's okay. And so, you know, we will bring you on board eventually. But I think even though we literally pinned Wendy down and made her take the top 5 tests, I think first of all, it was it gave us insight into her. It confirmed our honestly,
it made you very happy.
And it made and
I mean,
it's good
I'm
for
sure
us.
you already knew me, right? I
It's
mean,
good
I
for
don't
us
think
to-
a
yeah.
test is going to tell you how I function.
No, but I think it helps your understanding of other people. It's not just about yourself, but
Everyone's
it's about
different, and everyone loves
understanding of
different
other
things.
people. That's right. And I think too, you know, I think it's really arrogant for any of us to think our way is the only way or the best way. And so, like I say, I just wish that the self-publishing journey also serves you in your own self-knowledge. That's my wish.
Nice.
So my next one, I'm like, oh, I think mine's the same, but it's kind of not, so I'm not sure, but I'm gonna
Go
I'm just gonna
girl.
go with it. And it's sort of overlapping what Shaz just said, so it might be somewhere where we have to tease it out.
Spit it out.
I just want to say quickly before I do that, like, it's interesting, we're talking about the Clifton Strengths thing, and I think the power of the Clifton Strengths for me is that not only does it tell me about, you know, myself, and maybe and also kind of like makes it be okay that I am the way that I am, like gives you
self-acceptance, right?
Self-acceptance.
Yeah.
But it also gives you a way to kind of go, and Wendy's right, I do already know, we do already know when.
Oh, look, I just want to add
and stuff
before you carry on. I just want to add, all power to the Clifton Strengths. I don't have a problem with people loving Clifton Strengths. I think it's a wonderful tool and a wonderful thing. It's just not mine or shared.
That's right. That's
it's
totally
not
fine.
something we need.
No,
you
that's
know,
okay, and that's fine. Like no one's.
I'm not begging it in any way. That's just a big joke, but I understand it.
Do you know what's cool about it is the understanding and the knowledge, as Shad just literally just said, but I just want to reiterate it, is that everyone's different.
Yeah.
And everyone operates differently. And that's been the power of the Spa Girls for a long time now, is the understanding that all 4 of us have a completely different way of doing things, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And that we can be successful in our own ways. And that's not something that I understood or knew when I was 20 or in my 20s or even really in my 30s.
Absolutely.
Like that people didn't understand or view the world or see things exactly as I did. And I would get frustrated with people not understanding and doing things the way I did them, because I thought that, you know what I mean? And we all do that.
Yeah.
And I think the power of the Clifton Strengths is kind of going, actually, that person is awesome at doing, maybe not a strategic thinker like I am, but that's cool, because they'll write more books and I'll sit about here thinking about writing books, you know, like that's
yeah
or whatever, like that's so that was what I wanted to say about that. But because I had no one understand yourself, and I was going to mention the Clifton Strengths about that, but the other big thing that's happened for me this year is I got diagnosed with ADHD, and I haven't really talked about it on the podcast before, but that has been and that's been understanding and knowing my processes too, because I felt bad and guilty and wrong for doing a lot of things the way I did them for so many years. and learning that, and kind of realizing that some of the things I do are just me thinking a different way. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person or that I'm wrong. Has been, and so I just want you to anyone who's listening to this who kind of thinking, oh, I should be doing it this way, or I'm wrong for not doing it like everyone else, or whatever. Don't feel bad. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
Exactly.
Just no, the way you do it is fine, and you can do it. You know, do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to getting lost.
No, everyone is an individual, right? Everyone's journey is different, and the way they process stuff different. And writing,
well, your circumstances are different as well, so that all plays a part in it, you know. So we can't all go down the same path, because it would be very, very busy.
None of us write the same, and we always laugh about the fact that if we had the same synopsis to write, our books would be totally different, right?
Of course.
Our processes of getting them down is different, and we're the same. We all are really different people, like you say.
That's why there's so many books in each genre.
So So you know how when you have your 12 wishes, and then there's like a chorus or a recurring, like the end of it, or like so this is another half, and it is that the understanding that nobody's got it all together. Nobody knows it, has it all. Nobody, I think, honestly, most of us, in fact, I'd say most people, unless they're complete narcissists, feel like fakes at different times, right? You feel like imposter syndrome, and it's really normal. And I think it's important to normalize that, that it's not just you. You know, it's very easy to look around and think that all these different authors, it doesn't matter what stage of career they're in, that they've got it all together, or they've, it's all very linear in terms of growth and success. And that's just not true. And we have had a number of really, like, the authors that are in the top 10 of Amazon at, or other platforms at different times say, I don't know what I did on that series, or I don't know what I did on that book. I'm not quite sure, like we all feel the imposter syndrome at times.
Yeah,
Very true.
totally. And
that's where you believe in yourself. Yeah, and you let it be better than you imagined. Yeah, and you read more, and you know yourself.
Yeah.
All right. So final question, because I know Wendy's going to get in there with something deep and meaningful. So I want to just get it
Don't put me on the spot like that.
Get us off the couch.
I was going to sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
Oh no,
we're not quick, Shah, go before she starts singing.
What's your favorite Christmas food?
Oh,
peppermint bark.
Oh, Trudy, you just took my one right out of my mouth.
And you know what? And I, because Shah, do you remember years and years and years ago at Christmas, Shah baked it for us, and I was like, "This is the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life."
Now we all make it for our families, for our children, grandchildren.
To Zoe, Christmas, like, she's been begging me to make Christmas bark since the beginning of November, and I'm like, "No, Christmas bark is a Christmas thing. It only happens in December," because I'd eat the entire lot by myself. If I was baking it.
It's not something that's massively popular in New Zealand. I brought that back from the States. So we know now they're bringing it in. Like, it's much more, but those initial flavours of the candy cane with the chocolate, that wasn't really a thing here. And so I like to think that
you can now buy bars of them.
Yes, I know.
Whitakers.
Not the same though,
Just saying though, that's 12 years down the track.
Yes, true.
We were trailblazers.
We were
on the peppermint bark trail.
I make bread cases. So that's
nice.
My mother used to do it, and after she passed away, it fell to me, and I had to emulate her recipe and get it right. I'm one of 5, and the pressure was on.
So I had to learn to the listeners what a bread case is.
So a bread case is basically like a shell of bread that you butter and you bake in your little patty pan
sliced
things,
bread kind
like
of
a sliced bread.
Yeah.
And then you make up different fillings to put in it, and I make 4. So one is oyster one, and that's, if you don't like oysters, seriously, you wouldn't even know it. No, it's amazing. It just tastes like seafood. And then there's a sweet corn one,
nice,
and a cheese and onion, and then a mushroom and cheese.
And they go in muffin trays.
No, just the
patty
pan. So they're quite small, because when you get them out of the oven, they're boiling hot.
They're called patty pans,
like juggling them.
And so
And so then you scoop in the filling, whatever the filling is in a particular one. They all go in the oven again, heat up, and then you hand them around, and it's like an entree. And seriously, we bake about 120.
Wow.
And I finally handed off doing the bread to one of my sisters, and I do all the fillings. And so us girls, we get in the kitchen and we do that. And then once that's done, we're done, It's like, eat, and then we'll have dinner.
You should make those
Later,
boys get in the
later.
kitchen with you, Cher.
They fight over them. You don't want them in the kitchen. They'd never come out of the kitchen.
No. I like so many foods. Food is my thing. But if I had to pick something, because now Trudy's taken mine, would probably be pavlova. My daughter has taken the mantle of pavlova maker in our family. So she makes a pavlova every year, and because I am gluten-free, I can eat that, and I do, and I eat lots of it. And I put where she puts strawberries or berries on top, or see, my mouth's watering now.
Some people put kiwi fruit on.
Yeah. And the other, I'm going to have two, because you couldn't possibly have one. My cousin makes me a gluten-free Christmas cake every year, and that is to die for. I love Christmas cake, love it. That and mince pies, and that's my thing.
Oh, I hate
fruit
mince pies.
So Christmas
you're
mince
not normal,
pies.
Trudy.
Christmas
yours?
mince pies is my number
Yeah,
one. If I was
love
on
them.
an island, desert island, and
That would be my last thing that I would pick.
In New Zealand, they're
people.
fruit.
Fruit
They're fruit. It's a fruit mix.
Yeah.
It's lots of different fruits.
Yeah, it's like a spiced, it's sort of almost like the pumpkin spice flavors. You've got that nutmeg and cinnamon and those kind of flavors and the cloves, but you've got the dried fruit and it's moist, and then you've got the lovely sort of short crust pastry, and I absolutely
Is that an
love
English
Christmas
thing?
mince.
Is that not an American thing?
I think so. Yeah,
It's not they're not found in
America.
America. Well, I never found them when I was at Christmas in America.
I think it's like a strudely taste, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you put
exactly
icing sugar over the top,
but
dusted
more,
with
but
icing sugar.
deeper, and they're not
Richer.
particularly
Apple.
sweet. They're very
No, they're
rich.
not too sweet. They're just
You're
rich.
kind of getting
My
your
husband's
5-a-day
favourite
doses
food.
of fruit and
With sugar.
one Christmas
With
mince
lots of
pie.
sugar.
Lots of peel.
They are my husband's favourite Christmas food.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I
Okay.
find weird? Is my daughter Zoe doesn't like pavlova, but she loves meringue, so she likes the crunchy meringue.
same
the
thing,
crunchy.
Gooey,
Yeah. I'm not a
gooey.
big. I'm not a big flavor of lover of gooey stuff, so I totally understand that. I like crunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the same. It's funny.
Oh, wow.
Okay, what do we have on the Christmas, like meat, like not sweet? Like we kind of all picked
Savoury.
except for Cher. Yeah, like Cher's already done
savoury.
a savoury. She was the one savoury among us. What's your favourite savoury? Do you know what I like? Is the day after, on Boxing Day. I know that New Zealand and the UK do Boxing Day and the Americans don't, but Boxing Day, day after Christmas, is having sliced ham on a piece of
On the
toast
barbecue.
with butter. No, not on the barbecue, just on a piece of toast with butter and sliced ham. I just love that. I don't know why.
Barbecue.
I quite like it with some bacon, to be honest.
Just food, like I love food.
Yeah,
all
some
of
nice eggs. Yeah.
Anything really, all of it. So, are we going to sing Merry Christmas now?
No, we're not.
We were never going to sing.
No, Wendy is desperate for us to
you a
sing.
Merry Christmas.
I think we will do a separate recording of Wendy, and who knows, we could even put it on Spotify as well. But
Yeah, probably make a fortune, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have to stop
Donations
working
gratefully received.
to shut her up.
Make her stop.
Donations
Donations to make her stop. For us to take it down.
All right.
anyhow, we wish you a very happy Christmas to those of you who celebrate, and may you have a lovely, relaxing, stress-free holiday week.
No, you meant to go ho ho ho, Sha.
Ho ho ho. Yeah.
Everybody gets a bag full of love.
Please
Yes.
take some
Yes.
time for
That's a
yourself.
good way to say it, Cher.
Please take some time for you.
Yeah.
Please take.
And remember,
some time
it's
for
just
you.
one day. It doesn't need to be stressy. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Take
And
care.
may your reindeer antlers always be erect.
Oh Lord.
Well, you
I was
had to
gonna-
go
you
there.
know,
And
no,
on that
may-
note,
May your Christmas
No.
lights twinkle. There
you go.
go.
See, that's a
much
nice
better.
one.
Much.
Yeah.
That's how
To
we
reach
do
an
it. Shah.
erection.
That's how we do
That's how
it.
you do it,
No
dude.
need.
That's how you do
All right.
it. Where can we be found?
We can be found at spargirlspodcast.com. If you'd like to join our little antler
Exclusive.
wearing tribe on patreon.com. We would really appreciate your support there. You're welcome to join us for in our Facebook group for our Patreon subscribers there, and you can also have a 2024 coaching call with the Spa Girls as well. So go to patreon.com/Spa Girls podcast for, and maybe that could be a good Christmas present to ask for yourself. Or give to yourself.
I
Just
see what you
saying.
did there.
Like that.
Merry Christmas,
Well
everyone.
done.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you all for
Bye.
joining
Well.
us for another
Bye.
episode of the Spa Girls podcast. We'll be back again next week, but for now, farewell.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.